Okay. First of all, I just want to start off by saying thank you, God. Um, my channel is not religious based. It's not really about anything spiritual, but as a target individual, a lot of us start becoming more spiritual. For me, the reason why is it's not that I was not before, and I was definitely spiritual, religious, so a believer of God, and now more than ever. That's because I'm surprised I'm still able to function as much as I'm functioning and to be able to see things for what they are. Uh, I'm surprised that I have the strength, the the the, the mind strength, the spiritual strength to to see things for what they are. They truly are trying to break me down in very disturbing ways. And of course, there'll be a day where uh, I'll break down completely because the breakdown is not only psychological but it's also physical. Your health is breaking down, and life is just it's so hard to function. And you do your best, and I'm surprised that I'm still able to do the things I'm doing right now. But on top of that, what surprises me is that I'm able to see things for what they are, no matter how they mess with me. They talk about all these horrible things that are going to happen to me as a ways to try to box in these manipulations, this thought process. The things I'm experiencing is so disgusting, and the way they just rewired me with this technology that truly rewire your thought process. They are truly recreating you as somebody else. They're changing you as a being. And for me, mostly I'm talking about psychological because physical is easier to see that. You see yourself becoming less mobile. You feel the pain in places. You feel your inability to eat certain things, to react. So this is easy. But the psychological restructure is what is the most intense and the craziest thing. Because with this technology, they have the ability to manipulate you. And to even say that is just crazy. But the truth is, they are truly are capable of changing your thought process, and more than that, your memories, your reaction, everything is just being. You are no longer experiencing anything organic. It's like all they do is to truly try to change you, and they want you to accept this change, as if you're not being changed, as if there's nothing being manipulated, or your thought process or your reaction are not being manipulated in certain ways. And those ways I've been calling that out all the time. Now you see this weird title. I've talked about it in many ways, but I never actually created a title specific to that because with me, when I get back to the things they've done to me, I go and look into the titles. And it's for me to just kind of put things back in perspective because I'm able to articulate things now, but soon I won't. And I'm going to try to make this quick, but uh, as you can see, earrings. It's even me saying that just makes me feel weird. Um, all my life, I've had this weird. Not all my, just when I was a kid, especially, I had this weird like thing with small like metal things. I remember, and I talked about it so many times in my videos, that I remember just like making me gag just to see this little thing because I always imagine myself, what if I ate that and it was stuck in my throat? And it's all kind of small little metal objects. It was something that always in my head. I don't know if it was just like a phobia of some sort, but some kind of weird kind of fear for any like little like sphere round metal thing. It's just always just like ugh, like it just like made me feel like I just wanted when I looked at it, I just want to gag because immediately I just like imagine like always imagine if I swallowed it and it just stuck in my throat and it was something like that. But since I was a really young kid, obviously as I grew up, it kind of ended slowly because of just kind of growing out of it in the sense of like getting not thinking in that way, in the sense of not having that phobia. And it was like I said, everything that's small, like and like if I saw like a little metal thing that's round, it just like I felt sick, like I wanted to gag. It's a weird thing, and it was mostly in my childhood. Now they changed it to something else, because that thing that made me almost make me feel gag is also when I saw like the earrings, especially like when I remember see like little kids, like little girls, like when they had the earring there, I was like, oh, it just brought me back to that nasty like phobia that I had, like that make me want to gag. And it's weird, but it's just this kind of thing that children have, uh, that just kind of just a fear of just like swallowing something like that just you know getting stuck in the throat. And I remember even when I saw like those like earrings, those little sphere earrings on this little girls, it just like I felt like gagging. It just made me a little sick. It just ugh. Now today, they're bringing this up in a different fashion. They restructure reality. Today they change this weird, disgusting reaction where in disgusting feeling of like, oh, I just want to throw up, like I'm just like almost like nausea, to change it to something sexual. And this is how they reconstruct reality. So now when I see these little earrings, they make me like have this like weird sexual stimulation, and make me think of these little girls with these little earrings. And today when I see these little girls already is already disgusting. They're already forcing me to get this manipulation that this technology can make me have. But on top of that, when I see their earrings, they bringing up the version of how this thing that used to make me feel sick and almost make me to want to throw up and gag, to changing it to something sexual, making me imagine something sexual with this kid's ear, kind of reconstructing that to something sexual. That's all they've been doing with me. Readjusting things to turn into something sexual when it was not sexual, when it was actually the opposite of sexual, it was something that was just almost making me want to throw up. And it's so nasty. For example, you'll see a picture of this kid, this little baby that they forced me to get sexual. This little 1 year old or something could barely talk. And you can see she got those little earrings, which even talk about it just because it gives me like a weird feeling. And and now it's just like it goes somewhere else. But then they give me this new version of what used to be something that was just makes me want to throw up, to now something that changed into something sexual. And it becomes so disgusting in my brain, and my eyes manipulate, and then the logic, oh my gosh, the way they make us think. Do you know, one of the thoughts that started making me have yesterday is, oh, so why would you imagine that swallowing that, right? Because like I said, my fear was like this little sphere thing, whatever it is. Even it doesn't even have to be earring, but it has to be just metal sphere, a sphere kind of metal thing. If I swallowed that, like me just gagging on it, it would just like make me feel like it just made me feel disgusting, right? It just made me feel like ugh, like and they start making me think. But why would you think about swallowing this and being stuck in your throat and you start gagging? And it's like, oh, are you imagining like sucking the ears of like Jesus? And that's how you think that's going to and this is the logic in my brain. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so disgusting. And start making me imagine, oh, you thought like that because you imagine sucking on some nibbling on some kid's ear, ugh. And then imagine that getting stuck in you. It's just so the way they just restructure your thought process, and then coming up with this. Oh, that's because he always thought about. It's like, no, you trash us. This is me as a very young kid already starting having this weird phobia to anything that's just like small and middle and like round. And the thing is, not even just earrings, but anything that's just small and there. Even if I see it there, it's like, oh. But the way they just try to manipulate my brain and to try to create this logic that actually it's because you imagine when you're sucking on some kid's ear and then it's this stuck in the stupidity, which creating this nonsensical of logics. And you have these perps going through their scripts and try to counter this. And then start talking about how they're gonna watch me being tortured and this and that. To see this retardation of how they want me to start seeing things. Listen, whatever's gonna happen to me, I just want to say thank you, God, because I could be living life, figure out how to twist things in certain ways. Listen, it's easy to do what they do in the sense that all you need to is just have no respect for yourself. The rest is just truly dumbing yourself down, seeing how to restructure reality. And you have to be an individual who enjoy living outside of reality. It is nasty. And I was like, and every time they would try to make me think in these ways, they would just make me fear. Like they try to make me feel, try to say something disgusting about how I'm gonna be tortured and raped. I'm like, I'd rather die in hell than come up with ways of thinking like that. And then, by the way, so I see this baby, and obviously do this, make me have this reaction, and make me, have this like disgusting thought about these earrings, just the way they manipulate in these ways. But then I wake up from a dream where it was kind of sexual, not too sexual, like it was kind of sexual, but I think like my libido is just not at the high level yet. They usually take some time to crank it up and then start cranking more sexual reaction. But my bladder is full of water, is full. So what happens is when my bladder is full, I get, like any man, that creates some kind of erection. So I wake up from this dream that's sexual, that they try to create sexual reaction toward. I wake up from that and I go to the restroom, and as I'm going to urinate, as I'm getting ready, obviously because my bladder is so full, and before that they was kind of creating some kind of sexual dream, my private part is somewhat erect. Then immediately, and it made me feel so disgusting, they start making me think of this baby with these earrings, to try to connect these things together to create a sexual reaction. And I'm like, oh, that's so nasty. It's so disgusting. You see, that's how we are rewired, to create sexual reaction toward babies, to the point of even going to the bathroom. If you go to the bathroom while your private part is erect, and for men, when your bladder is full, in the morning, that's why you hear the morning things that happens. It's because your bladder is full, which press and makes the private part erect. And so I'm going to the restroom, I'm using the restroom, I'm peeing, and because of the amount of how full my bladder is, it's just like is erect. And then they start making me think of early on the child, this baby that they forced me to get like some kind of reaction, and it's disgusting. To connect these things in a sexual way, to connect babies to my private part, to just restructure me this way, and then you hear these perps wanting me to feel guilty for the things they make me experience. To tell me how easy erect is waiting for you, is going to do this, whatever it's going to do to me. I'm telling you, I'm never going to identify with this manipulation. You'll see me scream and die and go through all this horrible hell that you tell me. But I guarantee you, I will never give you the satisfaction to let you feel like I've been identifying to this manipulation. Never. As horrible as things are going to be, it's not going to make me identify to this nasty manipulation and the way you restructure reality. Never. And then you're going to have to deal with whatever you deal with, because being God for this long comes at a price. Especially a foul, low life trash like. So for me, God, thank you, to be able to see things of the way they manipulate me, this reconstruction reality, these manipulations, and the way they just play with my thought process and even make me uncomfortable to use the restroom, because the way they just connecting me going to the restroom with my private parts in this state to make me think of this baby. And then to hear this trash that makes this nose campaign and try to disorient you because you're saying things for what they are. They are nasty low life. I rather die in hell. This is, and by the way, it's like super early in the morning. And this is what they live their life doing. I pray that they continue to live this disgusting, undignified life. That's what trash they live like. And they don't even know it. Do you know what the way they try to block it out is like, oh, we are at war. You're not at war. You're a fucking low life pedophile that is using human subjects as a way to develop this technology and rewire the brain in these disgusting ways to use this technology as a weapon. I'd rather die in hell than dedicate a life where I'm able to do whatever I want, and this is the indignified, nasty ways I live life. This trash will die. Even if they don't die in hell, even if it's in a comfortable, nice bed, look, you end up dying at the end of the day. I pray that you live nothing but this nasty life. I pray that, and I mean, I'm most mean-spirited way I can say that, because nobody should be living this nasty life. But I pray that they continue to live this low life. Us, we're just people who are just tormented, manipulated, tortured. So it's obviously not a choice of ours to live that way. They're choosing to live this indignified way. And I pray they continue to live this low life, because of course they will. I'm not a prophet, but they've made me feel like a prophet, because obviously dedicating your life to look at what ways you can restructure reality, what tactics can be used to reconnect things in these disgusting ways, and connecting with this while using this him going to, oh my gosh, going to the restroom. Then we can bring up this baby and connect these things together. It's so disgusting. That's the life they live. It's like a world where pedophilia is just their favorite tool, and just really thrive into that world. I pray nothing but this life of thriving. Thank you, God. I don't have to live this life. These winners that tell me I'm going to lose. Of course I'm going to lose. Who can win against the government? They're just the losers that don't just even use these ways of course, ain't no civilian has the ability. Nobody on their own can not be successful in these circumstances against governmental entities like the DoD. And these losers that feel the empowerment of being involved in that find this as a winner. They really say these things, are you going to lose? Of course I'm going to lose. Trash ass. Of course you are a loser too. You're pathetic low life living life this way. Is that winning for you? Please win life like this all the time. Thrive like this in this nasty life as long as you can, please. So I'm talking to just stay strong.